Videos by YGOSmurf. Be creative. Hi guys, YGOSmurf here, and today I'm going to be talking about what it takes to compete with the meta. The reason why I'm talking about this is because I really like to play non-meta decks, so I need to make my non-meta decks be able to compete with the meta decks. And I was kind of having some trouble because I was just trying to make fun archetype decks that ran together instead of thinking, how do I make this competitive? What do I need to use in order to win? Because losing 10 times in a row isn't fun. Part of the reason why I like to run non-meta decks is because I don't have money. I'm a broke college student. Another reason is that it's really fun to beat people with random rogue decks and they're just like, huh? What is that? I've never seen that before. It's kind of a fun experience. In order to compete with the meta, you have to understand the meta. I'm going to use the examples of the current meta right now, but remember, it's kind of a generic thing. What you're going to want to do is figure out what the meta decks are right now, what type of effects, what are they doing? Are they controlling the field, just consistently adding cards to the hand, maintaining field presence? What are they doing? Keep that in mind. Jot that down. Understand what those effects and cards are doing in conjunction to cause them to be competitive and frequently win. With the current meta, you have Stellar Knights, Shaddolls, and Burning Abyss. So all of these decks have similar effects that add cards when they're summoned, add cards when they're flipped, destroy cards when they're summoned, stuff like that, as well as effects that can activate when they're sent or in the graveyard. So dual effects and on-summon effects are the main things that are contributing to the frequency and the advantageous factors for meta decks. What's good understanding? Well, in order to beat them, you have to understand them. And in order to compete with them, you have to do similar effects. So you have to mimic those strategies. So you'll have to be running cards that don't necessarily fit in your strategy, that have dual effects, that have on-summon effects, generate faster plays, that generate more cards seen, so that way you can do what you want with the specific cards that you need. So for examples, if you need a monster effect, if you need and use a monster's effect in the graveyard, cards like Mathematician, Foolish Burial, and Card Trooper are all good cards to run, even if they don't necessarily fit into your strategy. If you need monsters in your grave to activate key spell and trap cards, then you're going to want to run cards like Curry Bandit. It sends monsters to the graveyard and allows you to pick one of the spells or traps in an excavation of 5. You have lots of hand traps in the deck, stuff that negates effects, negates summons, negates spells, negates attacks, that are these cards are in your hand and can be played from your hand. Then you'll want to run cards that just make it faster to see those hand traps, such as like Card D works well with hand traps because after you played Card D, you can't do anything for the rest of your turn and you have to pass. With all those things in mind, that's what it takes to compete with the meta, or at least that's what I've noticed it takes to compete with the meta. Do you guys have any suggestions, any ideas, any overwhelmingly large things that you noticed in the meta that you could mimic with other cards? What are those cards that you could mimic those strategies with? Go ahead and post these things in the comments below so you can help me and others learn how to better compete with the meta with either non-meta decks, lower tier decks, or even other meta decks, because you know, nothing's better to beat an opponent with if you understand them. Don't forget to like and share this video. It makes me warm and fuzzy inside. Be sure to check out my update video, annotation here. It's kind of an apology and an update, but you'll have to watch that video to figure out those details. Subscribe to me if you deem me worthy. Have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.